Am I good with it?
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Are you one of those people who hasn't upgraded from a clumsy flip phone? Or worse, one of those people who hasn't switched to today's trend of smartphones? If you haven't, don't worry, there's still time for you to be saved. Just keep in mind, if you don't, you'll be missing out on the experience everyone has been getting with these smartphones. Now, obviously, you're new to this, and you have no clue what smartphone to get. No problem. Tie your seatbelts because I'm going to explain to you two different types of smartphones, an iPhone and an Android phone, Android phone. But before that, let's go back to the start of communication. Communication has been around since the creation of Adam and Eve. Since their creation, communication has been an important aspect of living things. There are different forms of communication, those being face-to-face and mail-to-mail. Thanks to mail services, people were given the luxury of being able to communicate with anyone that lives too far to talk with face-to-face. Sadly, mail would take too long, and people would get responses weeks after sending a letter. People wanted a faster, more efficient way to communicate with one another, and get responses the second they sent something. That being said, cell phones came into play thanks to the advancement of technology. People can now receive responses the second they send something. With the advancement of technology, cell phones have become a huge part of people's lives. Because of that, people need cell phones to keep up with today's technology. But many people like you are left with the question, should I get an iPhone or an Android phone? Today I'm going to be discussing the differences between iPhones and Android phones. I will be answering three important questions for those of you that are having a tough time choosing which phone best suits you. The first being, what is an iPhone? The second being, what is an Android phone? And the final question being, which phone will suit my needs? Before answering which type of cellular phone could best suit you, I am going to inform you about what an iPhone is and what an Android phone is. When I mention iPhone, I know a majority know what I'm talking about. It's obvious everyone knows what I'm talking about since every year around the time of the holidays, a new iPhone releases. Not only that, but all over the news, the media exposes the crazy lines people wait to just to get one of these gadgets. According to businessdictionary.com, an iPhone is a wireless communication device manufactured by Apple that allows a user to do a multiple of functions with the device. The device operates off a touchscreen interface. The device has the telecommunication capabilities, internet browsing, portable music player, and a camera. The iPhone was brought on the shelves on January 9, 2007 with the announcement of the first iPhone. During that, AT&T was the only company and carrier to hold that phone. Because of the increased sales and popularity of the device, it has become one of Apple's best-selling products. Now that I've explained what an iPhone is, I am now going to explain what an Android phone is. Now I know there's a lot of people in here that also know what an Android phone is, so I won't even bother asking. We all see the posters around Best Buy, Target, and Walmart of the hot new Androids being released. They're everywhere and are also the best phone for those of you that are looking to have control of how you want your phone to work, respond, and be laid out. According to knowyourmobile.com, an Android is a smartphone operating system developed by Google. It is used by a variety of mobile phone manufacturers, including Motorola, HTC, and Sony. The first Android to launch was the HTC Dream that was released on October 22nd, 2008. The Samsung Galaxy series has become the highest selling Android in the market. The Android operating system is open, meaning any company or manufacturer can use it. Now that you each know what an iPhone and Android phone is, it is time to answer the main question, what phone will best suit my needs? Depending on the type of person you are, this question will be an informative answer rather than a direct answer. For the sake of the speech, I will be comparing an iPhone 6s with a Samsung Galaxy S6. This is an iPhone 6 right here. It has a slim tab and it's 7.1 millimeters thick. It has a 3D touchpad. It has a 4.7 inch display. It has a new A9 processor, which is 70% faster at CPU tests and 90% faster at graphics than the 8 chip, which was used in the original iPhone 6. And according to James Rogerson, a journalist from Techner.com, it has a 12 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front facing camera. iOS includes improvements on Siri and long-awaited Apple features. In my opinion, an iPhone will suit a college student best since it's more organized than an Android. It also offers Pages and Keynote, which are very similar to Microsoft's Word and PowerPoint. The iPhone keeps your memory stored cleaner, and you have to go with the layout provided, which is good since it makes it easier to use for everyone. Now, if you're going to go for an iPhone, keep in mind that it is more expensive than a Galaxy, but worth the cost if they suit your needs. Now that I've explained the features of the iPhone 6s to you, I am going now to explain the features that Samsung Galaxy S6 has. The Samsung Galaxy S6 is 6.81 millimeters thick. It has a 5.1 inch screen with 577 pixels per inch. It has an octa-core Exynos 7420 processor that includes 4 cores running at 2.1 gigahertz. It has a 16 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. It is offered in both the regular 6 and also the Edge. In my opinion, the Galaxy S6 is a better choice for a person who's running their own business. It gives a person the freedom of making the settings to their personal liking. Those with a creative mind will appreciate the device since the way they could lay it out is endless. The Android is cheaper than the iPhone, making it the first choice of phone for those looking for something that's a good bang for their buck. In conclusion, I feel the iPhone is a great phone to buy for anyone looking at the market for a smartphone that's easy to use, reliable, and sexy at the same time. Today, I discussed what an iPhone is and what an Android is, and which could best suit your needs. Thank you.
So Daniel, you're here. What did you think?
I like the attention device. It's I like how it relates to phones. I did feel a little rushed, but the content is there. The structure was a little abrupt, and the visuals. I thought the visuals were good overall, and I think he got his message across.
Okay. There are a lot of things that just hit exactly the way they're supposed to from a mechanical point of view in the presentation. I mean, you can tell that there's an introduction, you can see that there's an organizational structure, I can hear your transitions in the speech, you've got visuals integrated into the presentation. But it comes across a little clunky because it's mechanically delivered in part. There's a lot of reading that goes on there and it doesn't flow naturally. The transitions, because they are not smooth and they feel very abrupt, which I think Daniel pointed out also, makes it feel not quite like a checklist, but almost like we're just going through, well, there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this, and it just feels a little mechanical instead of more organic and interesting. However, the topics clearly identified. I thought you had a pretty clear thesis statement. You give a reasonable justification. The preview is fine. It does take you a while to get to that, though. It seems like you've got this long introduction that has to do with communication, and I'm not exactly sure that it gets you very much. It feels like it's meandering toward the subject instead of getting to the particular subject, kind of reviewing people's desire for communication over the years. I'm not exactly sure that that's a really great hook to pull us in with. I thought you were citing your materials very consistently early on in the presentation, and that stayed that way through most of the middle section. And toward the end, when you were talking about some of the advantages of one phone or the other, I'm not sure, for instance, why you've reached the conclusion about how the layout issue might be more advantageous to the Android users for businesses versus students. I think you need some clear illustrations of that, and if you're citing some authority, I think you need to be explaining why those authorities reach that conclusion as well. But like I said earlier, I thought you were doing a better job at those sorts of things. The visuals are all pretty straightforward. At the beginning, they're just transition slides indicating what the topics are. When you get to the pictures of the phones, that's okay. I mean, I think everybody's got a pretty good idea what the cell phones look like. Most of them have got one in their pocket right now, as a matter of fact, so seeing the picture doesn't help that much. But I think we needed something that did a little bit more contrast on some of those things. Something that, when you talked about, for instance, how the same sort of thing, the galaxies can be organized in a particular way, or you can manipulate or emphasize something that you want. I'd like to know what that means. I'd like to see what it is you're talking about. You can move things from page to page. You can add or subtract them. What's different about them? You mentioned that the iPhone, the new iPhone, has a 3D touchscreen. And go, well, that's a nice specification. What does that mean? I think some people, 3D, does that mean I have to wear glasses to be able to utilize it? I don't think that that's really what's coming across there, so you got a little bit of an issue there. When you watch it back, I think you'll know what I'm talking about when it comes to the delivery. You're going to see, first of all, you're going to hear yourself sounding like you're reading. And then when you watch yourself, it's very rhythmic to watch yourself speak. We're going to be talking about delivery issues, and I might have to refer to your presentation as one of the examples, because you do this shifting on your foot thing pretty regularly, and that's one of those things people say, do people really do that? I'm going to go back and say, well, remember when Raphael was speaking? So something to warn you against, something to think about next time. All right, thank you.